Hey everybody, Lindsay Smith here with the business tip this week. This week I want to reiterate a conveyance tip that we had a few months back about efficiencies in your paperwork. You know, throughout a real estate transaction, there's only so many times that we get face-to-face with the client. It might be at the offer to purchase standpoint, maybe when we're signing a listing, when we're getting buyer brokerage signed. And we all have different pieces of paperwork that we need to get completed. Here's my suggestions. In addition to getting all the measurements in a house done at the time that you're there and all the photos booked and time sat down with times booked with the clients to get those items completed, plus picking up RPRs and getting spare keys from the client, make sure that you have all the pieces of documentation that you could possibly need for this client and get it filled out when you're sitting down with the client. Now, I understand that there's certain periods of time where you might be having a deposit check that's not given to you yet, and you need to get that filled out later, and maybe you can use DocuSign. But there's a ton of pieces of paper that you can get submitted at once. Some people say, oh, I'm going to pull the title later, or oh, I'll get that FinTrack form done later. Well, not only legally do you have to do it in advance and with the client when you're there for the individual identification records and other such documents, consumer relationships guide, but these documents are constantly missing on our end, and these things need to be filled out when you're first meeting with the client. And I can't imagine how much wasted time these realtors are taking by not submitting that documentation altogether when they meet with the client. I mean, Calgary, especially right now, as I record this, we're in the middle of a snowstorm, and you never know when your driving time will be almost doubled to drive around and try to complete these things. And if you're not using DocuSign, even if you are using DocuSign, you still have to pull the documents open, get the signature fields put in, and it's a waste of time. Do everything at once. Under the listing conveyance compliance section on our virtual office, you can find our paperwork process, and you can create a checklist from this of all the pieces of documentation that you need for a buyer, a seller, a purchase, all these pieces and what you need to be submitting with the deals. Make a checklist and get them all done when you're sitting with the client whenever you can. And I promise you, you'll have much less flags. You'll be worrying about paperwork much less. You'll make much less trips across the city, and it gives you more time to build more relationships with your clients, spend more time with your family, and do the things that you love. So get it all done at once. Paperwork, photos, collection of information from the clients, have checklists in your business to make sure you get it all done, and I promise you, you're going to be a lot happier running your real estate business in the future.